Blood for the blood god, skulls for the throne of corn. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for chaos mode training. Yeah, we're going to rebrand a little bit. Alright, so went with what I said I'm going to do. Going to a chest and tricep day, and then I'm going to do back and biceps on a different day. Mainly because I feel like I need the days between for my triceps to recover, because all this stretch work I've been doing on the triceps, a lot of times they're not feeling fully recovered by the time I get to my bench press days and my chest days. So I'm like, let's go ahead and just roll with this. I have plenty of volume on these individual days. Everything should grow fine. Of course, I'm losing weight slowly because I'm cutting. And we need to keep in mind that's going to be the name of the game. I'm only going to make small amounts of gains right now because I'm getting leaner. All right, I'm going to focus on getting leaner while trying to bring up these weak points, which are mainly, at this point, really chest and arms more than anything else. Another good reason, though, to start my week off with what? Biggest muscle in the arm with triceps and with my chest. And I'm trying to space stuff with this split more and more to where I have better recovery time between things. So again, I'll throw shoulders on Wednesday so that I'm not training them immediately after all the bench pressing. All right, so another thing I did here, because I've been used to supersetting to get my workout times down so I could take really long breaks between individual exercises, I decided to kind of do away with that and try to get this workout done fairly quick. So I took the rest times way down. All right, this meant that for subsequent sets, I could not handle the same weights. Like, so previously I've been able to get, 10, 10, 8 is what I got last time with this. Doing the shorter breaks, I got like 10, 8, and 8. And that 8th rep on the third set, I didn't think I was going to get it. And again, I'm fine with that. Because what was I doing for 10s when I was benching 365? Okay, I think my best set had been like 250 for 10 around that time. So I've got 245 for 10 right now with this wide grip flat back. So we need to keep that in mind. So a slightly more difficult version of the bench. All right, another thing I thought about as I've looked at it, when I look at stuff like when I'm doing the shoulders and stuff, we can see that separation in my upper chest. I look at my 45-degree incline and the fact that I can rep 225 on it. I mean, I've done sets of 6 on it recently. I feel like my upper chest is not lagging relative to the rest of my chest. So right now, I need to just bring the whole chest up. So I decided for my 3 main chest exercises that I went with first, that's not counting the pullovers at the end, I'm like, I really want an exercise that works the entire chest, upper and lower, for all of these. But I want to hit different angles so that we get different muscle fibers. So I'm like, rather than drop the reverse grip bench out and put incline in this place, I'm like, let's just pull incline out. The reverse grip bench works the whole chest, and it actually works the upper chest really effectively. Okay, forces me right now, because I'm not used to it, forces me to still use a lighter weight for stimulus fatigue. Right, it's a good exercise. Let's just rotate it in. I'm going to do this instead of incline benching. So I'm keeping the bench really wide. I went back today definitely to index fingers on the rings. Okay. Get the most chest possible, because I'm going to do a bunch of tricep exercises, and I'm doing 2 types of presses to start my chest work. So ultimately my triceps ended up getting the most volume, particularly because pullovers hit them also. Because if I end up doing three exercises for 3 sets for triceps, that's 9 sets of tricep isolation and 9 sets of compound movements. My triceps are getting a high priority. So I went ahead and went with flies again, because I realized last time I did flies, I only did them once recently, I'm like, I really got a deep chest stretch, and I'm still feeling it on these. So again, this will let me make sure that I really finish the chest off. So we do pretty much limit sets on the 2 types of benching. And that reverse grip, because I'm taking the shorter breaks on even the flat bench and then went right into it, instead of doing supersets and then taking my time with back exercises, it was hard. So those sets of 8 were difficult, even though with that weight, I think last time I did it, I got like 12, and then I put 20 pounds on, but it can only get like 6 or 7, right, when I went up to 205 with it. But that 185, the sets of 8 were hard, especially after repping out the really wide grip limit sets, like to 0 reps in reserve on the wide grip bench. My chest was really fatigued. And so when I got to these, the sets of 10 were hard. I think I got like 11 on one of them. So I'm going to let people know that what I'm doing with the rep counts, I'm just going to call the 3x10. There could be some 9s and 11s in there depending on how fatigued I got, but it's just roughly what I got. Because I'm getting to a point with all this. This is a lot of sets, a lot of volume. With 12 main work sets, not counting abs, and again, everything is 8+ reps. It's just too many reps to always keep up with, right? So it's 10, 3x10 means I'm roughly 3x10. Doesn't mean it's exactly what we got. As long as they're really close to failure. And that's what I'm shooting for. And some of these were failure, like a lot of the flies, I did them and then couldn't quite get a rep, and then so I pressed it up on a couple of them. And then I think the last one I squeezed out something like one more rep than the previous set, and then I just stopped because I knew if I went down it wasn't coming back up. I already knew that was a 0 rep in reserve just based on how hard the rep was. But my chest was absolutely pumped. It was very fatigued from just these 9 work sets. Again, felt a lot of burn in it, a lot of pump, everything very fatigued. So when we got over to the triceps, they were harder. Like this weight, when I've been doing it fresh after only doing a little bit of close gripping first, instead of all these other sets, I've been able to get 12. These 10s were hard. And the first set, it was a little tough getting into the groove, okay? But these sets were hard. So I know just the overall fatigue from all the pressing, because there is tricep work, that I am already fatigued a little by the time I'm getting to this, and that's okay. That just lets me know as I'm doing that I'm definitely working my triceps on those 2 types of pressing, because they feel different in the triceps. Like the normal wide grip, I feel that lateral head of the tricep. On that reverse grip, I feel the long head. It's probably the only press I really feel the long head on. And again, some experts do feel it works the long head better. I suppose it's subject to controversy, but I feel it. All right, these second couple sets of the laying extensions, I dug in harder and was able to get that roll back over my head a little bit better. But yeah, these sets were hard. You guys will notice the form breaking down on the last rep each time, to where I'm kind of cheating and using a little bit of leverage just to finish it. So again, these are pretty much then to failure, because if you're having to cheat a little bit to get a final rep, you've reached failure because you can't maintain the same form anymore. But quite happy with these. Again, I do feel the tricep light up super hard on these, right? And even though it's supposed to hit the long head really hard, I feel actually the lateral medial head a ton on this. I feel the long head again a lot more when I go to do the high incline extensions, which I do after these. So we do the flat extensions with the EZ bar, and then I go over and do the others. And I'm still kind of finding my groove on those, but I'm getting to where I absolutely feel them. The only thing I'm noticing as I'm looking at the footage now is that one of my sides dips a little lower than the other, and I don't know what to do about it. I'm doing it as even as I can. It's just the way, I guess, my shoulder flexibility is causing that to some extent. But as long as I'm going in with them really, really stretching both sides, I'll live with it. And I'm like, well, just to make sure that we balance it back out, I finish up with dumbbells. So I go ahead and I do dumbbell extensions next, what I decided to do, just to make sure that we are getting even loading, because on an isolation like that to where you can't cheat, you can absolutely ensure that. So just to make sure of that. Plus, I think the diet is starting to definitely show as I do these, as I'm getting up and down. We can tell the waistline is tightening up. Like I said, getting that waistline tighter and bringing up my arms and probably my chest a little bit is really what I need to do. But again, keep in mind, we're working everything. You know, we're putting 10 sets in for calves, 12 sets in for hamstrings, all that stuff. All right. So we are obviously working everything. The only thing I might slightly slack on might be my lats. I think I'm only going to do like 9 sets on back day for lats so that I can focus more on arms. All right. My biceps need more work. Plus my lats, as everyone notes, are probably the biggest muscle in my body. They're my dominant muscle group. Just in terms of being ahead of everything else. So they can get away with 9 sets. They'll probably still grow from it. They'll probably grow from it even in a deficit. But so what I did on these, I'm trying to pause a little. When I get to those last reps, I paused it. I couldn't bring it out of the pause, so that was failure. So I just kind of do a pullover to get it in place. All right, I haven't done dumbbell extensions in just a bit, so I forgot that when I use the plates like this, it hits the bench. So the first set, I didn't get quite the same range of motion because I kept hitting the bench. So on the next 2 sets, I slid myself up further to where my head and the edge of my shoulders are off the bench so that I can bring the dumbbells further down to get a little more stretch. But these felt really good. Obviously, they all feel different. That's the thing. All 3 tricep exercises I do have a completely different feeling in the tricep. So we're trying to work a lot of angles. Because again, that easy bar, we have a different wrist position and tighter on the regular laying extensions. The behind the head extensions, which are pretty much, it's a high incline. I've got the incline set at 60 degrees, just like I do my incline curls. So that feels completely different. Probably puts the deepest stretch on the long head. And then these feel quite a bit different from the skull crushers. I don't feel it in the lower heads as much. I do feel a little more towards the long head. I think just because of the range of motion difference, the ability to get further down, and again, the independence of the dumbbells, again, possibly because of the different grip angle as well, right? Because we're in a hammer grip instead of a full pronated grip. But really happy with all of this work. Actually really happy with the way all the pressing and extensions felt. The flies felt great in my chest. Everything got pumped up. Everything got lit. Keep working on looking like a chaos warrior. So again, that's why I'm gonna rebrand. We don't want to be orcs. Orcs are ugly, right? We're gonna work on aesthetics, but I'll talk about that later. I have my own reasons for picking that. All right, then of course I do my pullovers, and I'm doing them cross bench so that I can drop the hips. I've had some people say, well, why do that? It's like, because I feel the deepest stretch. Because if I drop the hips, I force, once the plate is coming down, I'm forcing more of a stretch than I can normally get. All right, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to work on that range of motion. Yes, I would love to get these deeper, but this is my range of motion. And it's improved from when I started. But again, I want to continue to use these for the shoulder mobility benefits, plus I feel them in my pecs, lats, and triceps. So again, it also adds another long head exercise. So this is still a tricep movement. In fact, a lot of guys love it for their long head, depending upon the person. And of course, between those, I do sets of hanging leg raises because, as I've said, I want to do these every workout for both the ab training, because I'm doing everything beltless. And I'm cutting, so I want my abs to be as thick as possible as I get leaner. But also because I'm doing all beltless training, taking off all the equipment, going raw, I need my abs to be stronger, right? I need my abs stronger. Plus, it gives me additional grip training as well, and that's kind of a big deal. We need that extra grip training. So it gives me grip training and ab training all 5 of my days, no matter what's going on. All right, the importance of that, because I'm doing so much volume and isolating so many things, making sure I just do that extra grip work means that I'm not going to worry about forearms for now. It lets me kind of leave them alone, not worry about them, and just focus on the other stuff, because I'm already doing calves. I mean, I'm doing 10 sets for calves a week, and we already know my calves are big. And plus, my forearms are big, and they grow pretty well from all the pulling I do. So again, between doing all my pulling, right, on both the posterior chain and on the back days with no straps, and then doing this, it's just making sure I get a lot of grip work. So again, it'll keep the forearms growing, keep the grip getting stronger. And plus, I do definitely like supersetting it with the pullovers, because sometimes my abs cramp a little bit from these. I've had a couple people say, oh, your form doesn't work abs. Well, really, because they cramp like crazy, so I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you don't know anatomy that well. But again, finishing up with the pullovers, it seems to pull that back out and makes that cramp go away if I'm getting any of it. So I really like, on this particular workout on the chest days, is supersetting those. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys and gals next time.